I've been a video creator for the last 10 years, and building the perfect video editing setup has always been a challenge. You either had to sacrifice portability for power or vice versa, and I never had the chance to create my perfect setup until now. This was my video editing setup just a couple weeks ago. Loud fans, too many wires, and no chance of being a portable setup that I could take with me and edit on the go. I've been dreaming of a sleek, simple, and powerful setup that I could take with me anywhere. That all changed when I got this, the brand new MacBook M4 Max, a complete powerhouse for 4K video editing, and not to mention ultra lightweight and portable. So I took this as the perfect opportunity to completely transform my editing setup. This is what I've been working with so far. A few years ago, I built this custom PC tower to handle my 4K video editing. I needed a powerful graphics card, plenty of RAM, and a strong CPU, all for under $2,000. This did the job for a number of years, but needed lots of upgrades and slowly got less powerful as I began working on bigger projects. But above all else, there was one big problem that I just couldn't ignore. For the last little bit, I've been traveling a ton and shooting on the go. Over and over, I realized that the one thing that I couldn't do was actually get started on any of the editing until I made it back home. This seriously killed my momentum as I found myself with extra time but nothing to work on. This is when I realized I needed a portable setup that was powerful enough to edit videos but light enough to carry with me and edit on the go. The goal is simple: make an ultra portable video editing setup that I can take with me anywhere and optimize for productivity and focus. So now that I have the most expensive computer that I have ever owned, it's time to make my dream editing setup. But first, I need to get rid of my old PC tower setup. I'm going to be taking everything down and starting from a blank slate so that I can build up my dream 4K portable video editing setup. So it's time to say goodbye to the old setup and start completely fresh. First, I started off with the elephant in the room, literally. I haven't cleaned my PC in over a year, so in order to sell it, I had to do some much needed spring cleaning. I cleaned the fans and took out as much dust as I could. I made sure to get into every nook and cranny of that motherboard to make sure things were spotless. Next was clearing up the rest of the electronics, speakers, monitors, shelves, and everything else that was on the desk. Exactly how you had a ton of gum under your desk in school, I had a ton of duct tape and scotch stuck to the bottom of my desk to hold up wires, so I had to take that down. But finally, I had a clean desk and can start off with a complete blank slate. Next up was unboxing my brand new MacBook Pro M4 Max. I decided to go with the 1TB internal SSD and 48GB of RAM. This laptop is beautiful and kind of overkill, but I truly believe that giving yourself the most power you can get saves you so much time and headache down the line. I got super lucky getting Space Black since it's sold out and backordered for months. The keys on this Mac are simple, the screen is super wide, and it has all the ports and things that I'm looking for, which is perfect. So it's been a couple of days since I cleared my whole table. I needed some time for things to arrive, like all the accessories for the Mac, all the accessories for the table. Things have finally all started to arrive, so I'm gonna start building the setup. First thing I put down is an anti-slip mat. It's nice and travel size, so I can take it with me anywhere I go. I have a simple headphone stand with some wired headphones to keep everything nice and tidy. Then my light therapy lamp, which is a mood and energy enhancer that simulates the light outside, which is perfect for my space since I usually don't get too much sunlight through the windows. Last but not least is the MacBook Pro M4 Max, which sits neatly in the center. So I've thought about this a lot, and if I'm in a place for longer and I want a more desktop-like setup, I have the perfect thing I can do. Everything I've been buying and creating has been with the intention of making things portable and minimal, and this setup is no exception. The first thing I do is grab my new laptop stand, which allows me to prop up my laptop so that my screen is facing eye level, which reduces neck strain and is better for posture. This thing sort of reminds me of one of those beach chairs that you see at like different resorts, like the white one, you know, the white ones that I'm talking about where you have to like pull it up and then put it on the next level thing. But yeah, this is a laptop stand just so my laptop screen can be at level with my eyesight. It just helps with posture. You're not hunched over, you're not looking down all the time, because we tend to do that with our phones anyways. So when I'm at the computer, I'm like you know, I should probably have like a better posture. So yeah, this is just one of those things that I've been doing for the last couple of years. I'm really big on ergonomic things. So yeah, this was an essential buy for me. Next, I pull out my wireless keyboard and mouse that all connect via Bluetooth. I've been using an ergonomic setup for the last couple years, and it's been an absolute game changer. I know it seems a little awkward, but trust me, it helps with wrist pain and fatigue so much. And that's it. This setup gives me all the power of a desktop computer while also being completely portable. So if I ever need to get up and go and start traveling and edit on the go, all I need to do is fold my laptop and I'm ready to go within seconds. Now that I have this setup, why did I decide to make this switch? Well, it comes down to three main decisions that led to one big realization. The first decision was between Mac or PC. Over the last 10 years as a video creator, I've worked with both systems, and I can't tell you how many times the Mac system saved me. A few years back, there was this commercial editing contest that I shot, and at the time, I was editing all of it on a Dell XPS 15 laptop. The project was literally 30 seconds long, and everything just kept crashing and freezing on me, and I was beginning to panic. I had a super tight deadline for this contest, so as a last resort, I went to my university at the time and used a basic Mac computer at the library, and it saved me. I was able to get the video done and then eventually win the contest. So for me, the decision between Mac and PC has become very clear over the last decade. Windows computers gave me lots of problems, instability and crashing, while Macs have always stayed relatively vanilla and their ecosystem is much more efficient and just stable in my opinion. That's why I ultimately went with this Apple laptop as my winner for the dream setup. The next decision I had to make was between a desktop and a laptop computer. Similar to the Mac versus PC argument, I also had a good decade of experience between laptop and desktop setups. Many years ago, I started off with a desktop PC, then upgraded to a PC laptop, then a MacBook M1 laptop, and then most recently a gaming PC desktop. I've tried all the setups and seen how differently they affect my productivity and creativity. While it was nice to have a desktop setup at home that I could spend all day at, it ultimately made me feel tied down to a certain place, and if I found myself traveling or on the go, I wasn't able to do any work at all. On the other hand, laptops have always been super portable and easy to take around, except they've been rarely able to handle video editing and especially 4K video editing without needing a bunch of workarounds like proxies. So a few years back, this caused me to settle on a desktop gaming build in order to handle my projects. But I seriously missed working in different environments. So that's why I had my MacBook Pro M1 on the side to do other work when I didn't have to edit at my desktop. When I was deciding on my dream setup, I just knew it had to be a laptop. I considered ones like the Razer Blade and other gaming ones, but the decision between Mac and PC was already pretty clear in my mind. The only thing holding me back from getting a MacBook Pro, other than the price, was to make sure it could handle my video editing. But after watching a bunch of YouTube videos and comparisons, I was pretty sold on the new M4 MacBook lineup. So at the end of the day, that's why I decided to ditch the desktop and go with the laptop setup. Portable, on the go, and powerful. The final decision I had to dive into was the NLE software that I was editing on. For almost a decade now, I've been editing all my projects on Adobe's Premiere Pro. I knew this software like the back of my hand, and it felt like home every time I opened up to edit inside. I learned everything from organizing my projects and optimizing my workflow and shortcuts, and I really felt comfortable with the software. The problem though began when I started running into crashes and errors because of how detailed and how big my projects started to become. But the real nail in the coffin happened when a friend of mine exposed a huge issue that Adobe has been trying to hide. Premiere Pro was built decades ago for older computers, and instead of rebuilding it from the ground up, Adobe has just simply been updating it over and over again. So as a result, it struggles to take advantage of modern hardware like powerful GPUs and graphics cards. This makes it less stable and more prone to errors. So no matter how good you build your PC, Premiere won't be able to take full advantage of it. On the other hand, DaVinci Resolve is a newer player in the game, designed from scratch for today's technology. That means it's fully optimized to use your computer's power efficiently, making it it much more stable, especially for high resolution video editing. When I found this out, I realized I'd been giving thousands of dollars to Adobe with their subscription model over the years to a software that was barely keeping up. Meanwhile, DaVinci Resolve had a fully capable free version and a one-time payment studio version. To me, this became a no-brainer. Even though I meant I had to relearn a new software and miss home for a while, I knew it had to be done and it would only benefit me in the long run. So now that I had a stable software to edit on, that gave me even more of a reason to trust that a laptop would be able to handle my video editing. Now this brings me to the ultimate realization for work and editing setups from the last 10 years of being a video creator. The more I progressed, the more I realized that success wasn't about adding more tools and accessories. It was actually about stripping away the unnecessary and simplifying the process. Even Elon Musk follows this principle. In his biography, one of his key philosophies for getting more done was summed up by him in a simple phrase: simplify, 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 delete, delete, delete. This was the exact philosophy I began to adopt when creating my dream setup. Instead of maxing out how many screens and accessories I could throw on my desk, I focused on the concept of singularity. I wanted just one tool that could do everything for me. I could take it anywhere and I could do anything on it. And this is exactly what the M4 MacBook offered me: singularity. So while this setup may not be for everyone, I believe the idea of digital minimalism and singularity will help improve your workflow, open up your creativity, and give you more freedom. So with that, I'll keep you updated on how this setup goes and my thoughts on it after a while. But until then, subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.